So the last part of this is putting water, or polluted water, into these liquid reservoirs. So I have to find a source for that. I have lots of polluted water around here, but they're a little warm, 32 degrees. I might want to do a mix of hot and cold, to be honest. And I haven't found a cold polluted water geyser, so I might go on the search for that. System is not actually fully set up until I've got this water in there. There's no point in running the pump, so I'm going to actually turn them both off. Okay, so my duplicates have traveled up here and they found this neural vacillator, if I'm saying that right. They also found some lockers. Might as well inspect. And I'm going to assign miner to have this ability. The reason for that is they're the ones I normally send out to new asteroids, so have them set as the best ability usually works best for me. They have more muscle strength. Sure, that'll be just fine. So I'm exploring this way. I'm pretty sure the polluted water geyser is going to be in this location because I've got a cold area here, and it's not around here. And it's always uncovered. So it only gets that one. So I'm pretty sure we'll find... Oh, speaking of which, there it is. Cool slush geyser. So I want to get a pump over here so I can get some warm polluted water and some cold and mix them together and get a good temperature for my base. Alright, so my first liquid reservoir is full. I'm going to actually destruct it. So now that it's been destructed, it's in the form of polluted water in a little plastic container. But the really cool property of this is it's emitting almost 200 grams a second. So that's just almost enough for two duplicates, not quite. So I'm going to keep doing this for the other ones, and I'll be producing quite a bit of polluted oxygen. Alright, so just make one note. I don't think I've ever had a cold slush geyser so far away, but not that it's really too far away. But anyway, I'm having cold water, or cold polluted water, being pumped into my base. Now this one here is already dried up, so I've got a lot of warm polluted water in the area. I can destruct another one of these. But the two together are going to kind of make a temperature that'll be comfortable for the meantime. So I'm going to put down some more liquid reservoirs. This time I'm going to offset them because the idea is I want to have polluted water bottles sitting side by side. I don't think that's terribly important, but what I typically do in my build. So let's look at the pressure. Oh, 2,700 grams. Let's enable one pump. And we can actually start seeing oxygen go through the system as soon as someone turns it on. Come on in, rocket. Thank you very much. So oxygen will be flowing up here. This is going to detect it. Yes, it is oxygen, and we'll go in here and well, actually not do anything with it. We have to say that we want it sent to our base. So I'm just going to get it to drain out various locations in the center of our base. And that's just going to provide lots of oxygen throughout the base. Later on, I may take that in other locations, but let's start with that. We're just about to set up another liquid reservoir. Now this one's going to interrupt the other one and essentially get to full first before we get to that one. And that's, to me, is not a problem. So I would say we have it at this point. We have ability to put in polluted water that's going to be filtered, and we can send it to the rest of the base as oxygen. That is essentially going to so if you click on the oxygen diffuser, this says a max gas pressure. That's because now we're producing oxygen in a different way. I could either delete this or I could just keep it as a backup. Oh, it went off for a second, but I think that'll ultimately shut off long term. I might even actually click on it and disable the building for the meantime, because from this point on, we shouldn't be relying on algae for oxygen within the base anyways. So what to say about this system that I like and dislike? One thing I really like is the fact that the input to this system doesn't, primarily as long as you have liquid polluted water down here, that's fine. But if you have it mixed with some other liquids, it's not going to hurt the system. So I could have a little bit of salt water, say, in there. I'm going to instruct this. I'm going to have polluted water with a little bit of salt water next to it. Not a problem. Unlike most of the other individual buildings, such as a shower, if I put polluted water in there, it's not going to like it. So that I like. Another thing I like is the fact that this system is going to produce a lot of clay over the next little while. And that's because of these guys are going to constantly be going off, taking the polluted oxygen, turning it into regular oxygen, but as well clay. And I need clay later on to create ceramic, and we'll see that in some of the later projects. The other thing I like is the fact that I've now taken two different types, so people are idle, so I'm just going to pause it. So I've got two different types of water, or locations of water, different temperatures that's being put together to make a comfortable temperature. So essentially whatever temperature water is going to be a very similar temperature to the oxygen that I'm going to send to my base. Okay, now for some of the negatives. There is a manual process to this. These guys are going to constantly be filled up, or need to be filled up with filtration. I did put a storage bin right there to help, as well as I have to watch this every so often, because once I destroy these and I've got these this polluted water, it's not going to last forever. It's ultimately turning into polluted oxygen. It will run itself out, and I will have to do this again in order to continue on. But I'm pretty comfortable that this will last me, say, a good 100 cycles or so I can concentrate on other base optimizations while not worrying about oxygen for a very long time. Final thing to say about it is how much oxygen is this producing, or essentially how many duplicates can I have or can this support? Really comes down to more how many pumps you have in here. So each pump can send out 500 grams of oxygen. Each duplicate takes or consumes 100, so essentially it's going to be 5 duplicates per pump. I would subtract 1 just to be safe, since they're not always running all the time. So when I have 2 pumps running, I'll be able to support, say, 9 people. I only have 5 right now, so I'm quite comfortable with the system. Alright, I think I'm going to stop it there. And I'm not going to necessarily wait to the end of the cycle. I'll just keep it at this point, and I will see you in the next episode for the next project.